What's going on, family? With another one, we back and we are ready to talk about what's been going on again today with the Shador brothers. I'm sorry, with the Sanders brothers. We're gonna get a little bit into Uncle Luke and his take on the Cleveland Browns with Shador. We're gonna get a little bit into, actually, surprisingly, Skip Bayless. What he said about Shador as well. So before we get into it, let's see what Mr. Luke has to say. And this is the coach here for the Buccaneers. I believe his name is Eric Bowles. He is actually apparently he was the influence to help get Todd Bowles, whatever you pronounce it. He was responsible for getting the brother Shador kicked off. Let's actually make this public here. All right, let's get this being known about. All right. Let's wait till we get some of y'all in here. Had to get a quick reset in. We're going to get into Uncle Luke and what he had to say as far as the Shador brothers. But, this is what we need right here to flat this stuff out. So he closed out the Cleveland Browns. Make sure we get some cats in here, y'all. Let me share my screen on in there. Go ahead and get this popping. So here's Uncle Luke, and here he goes back and talks about how the Cleveland Browns basically mistreating the Shador brothers, man, and he needs to stop. Enough's enough. We've seen time and time again these things happening over and over in our communities, and our brothers and sisters being treated like this on and off the field. Let's get into this video.
Get to the Luke Show podcast fast enough. This what's going on in Cleveland? God. Kevin, you think we all are stupid? You don't think we know football? If you're a football fan, we clearly know what you did. We clearly know that the plays that you gave for Dylan Gabriel, throwing the check down underneath to make him look good. Same plays for Flacco. Then you throw Shador in the game with a tight end whose name ain't even on the roster, and some other players. And then you have them run long routes, knowing that the offensive line is not going to hold up because most of those guys will be cut on Tuesday. Damn. And not let him go back in a 2-minute drill in that situation where you know he's going to have to throw check downs, get out of bounds, drive the team down the field. You really think, Kevin Stefanski, you really think we don't know football? So everybody's stupid. I can't get to the Luke Show podcast fast enough. This what's going on in Cleveland? God. Kevin.
So, yeah, man, that was Uncle Luke, man. We're going to get into, honestly, surprisingly, even Skip Bayless had a lot to say. and actually a respectable. It was actually pretty shocking. He kept it real. Let's keep it a buck, man. We're gonna call these team owners out. We got Todd Bowles. He was the one who influenced Shiloh to get kicked off the team because the owner wasn't even really tripping about it, man. It was the organization that was they came to an agreement, but it was essentially Todd Bowles, man. And I mean, he was really went too far. Let's go.
Shedeur Sanders in the Cleveland Browns' third and final preseason game. And I'm outraged, I'm sickened, and I'm saddened. By the way, Shedeur continues to be treated in the National Football League now by those sorry-ass Browns and sorry-ass Kevin Stefanski. So, yeah, Flacco started today, and I'll give you this. He played well. He was 9 out of 10 for 71 yards, threw a couple of nice balls. Dylan Gabriel played the second quarter and played well. He always plays well.
Real quick, family. It's funny how we never seen the Cleveland Browns in the news for any players outside of the field or the organization or the NFL. We never ever seen any coach or any official, any owner speak out about any player on these two teams. All of a sudden, when Shedeur and Shiloh get drafted, now all of a sudden they're making headlines talking about what their players are not doing. So we got the Buccaneers and the Cleveland Browns. We're calling them out. So let's go. And surprisingly, Skip Bayless, man, respectably keeping it real. We're calling it out. So the NFL's like they're going to be losing a lot of probably a lot of money and a lot of views.
I know him inside and out. I watched every snap he took for 2 years at the University of Oklahoma. Watched a lot of him at Oregon. He's a good little battler. He will, as he says, compete. He's a little better than Tua is, and he's sort of a carbon copy of Tua, also from Hawaii. But he's a little undersized. His arm's fine, but he went 12 of 9.
Sorry, family. Hold on.
It was a disaster, except for the very first play. Shedeur escaped right, threw a really nice ball up the boundary to somebody named Sal Cannella. I don't know Sal Cannella. I had to look him up. Played, this is fourth NFL team, bounced around minor league football.
But real quick, if he gets out of Cleveland, then what? Are the next teams going to do the same exact thing that the NFL teams have been doing? You know, just mistreating them, you know, sabotaging their career, discriminating against them because they're Deion Sanders' kids.
Undrafted free agent back in whatever it was, 2020, and unsigned as an undrafted free agent. Nobody signed him. He's not even listed on the Cleveland Browns depth chart at tight end. There are 4 listed right now on the ESPN.com depth chart, and he's not even listed. So he's at best the 5th tight end on this squad. Will he make the practice? I have no idea. I doubt he'll make the squad, but that's what Shedeur was stuck with. Shedeur obviously held the ball too long, but he's trying to make a play because he's trying to make a splash. He made a big splash in that first preseason game when everybody was hurt and they had no choice but to play him, and he lit them up. He shamed them and the NFL in the first preseason game with that performance. It was spectacular and completely unsurprising to me because I'm going to say it again one more time. I said before last college football season started that Shedeur should go first overall or Travis Hunter 1-2-2-1, whether the team drafting first needed a quarterback. But Shedeur should have been the first quarterback drafted. And then my man Mel Kiper, who's been doing this a long time, long as I've been doing it, doubled down and said,
we're going to play the whole clip, fam, but we're going to get into some more But let me know what y'all think about what's going on with this controversy. We're going to play a little bit more, but let's get into a little bit, and then we're going to talk about the other celebrities that reacted to this.
Shedeur should go first of all the quarterbacks. That was his final mock drafting, his final big board. Shedeur Sanders was the best quarterback in the draft, said Mel Kiper Jr., who's been doing this for a long freaking time. Had him rated and ranked above Cam Ward, did Mel Kiper. And then Mel threw a fit on air that night that Shedeur fell through the first round of the draft. And then continued to fall, fell all the way, obviously, to 144th in the draft, 5th round pick. I know a lot of people think this is just some woke opinion. It's not a woke opinion. I know woke.
What is woke? What do you mean woke? What is woke? What's woke? What do you mean woke? Why is it all of a sudden been so superficialized to where they think that necessarily is synonymous to something mysterious? Ain't no such thing as, oh, we know woke. It's just pure bottom line when we calling out bull crap in the industry. And they now associating that with black people. So we're gonna skip through with this guy. I've been saying, man, he's been keeping it real, but don't give me that whole woke crowd stuff. They're talking about us subliminally. That's just using it broad and ambiguous terms, trying to disguise it as something when they're really trying to mean something else.
I'm just telling you, this young man can play quarterback at the highest level in this league. He is capable of being a franchise quarterback and taking a team to the promised land. I watched him at Jackson State. I watched him for 2 years at Colorado. He didn't have much of an offensive line. He still doesn't have much of an offensive line when he gets in the game, especially today. But he's got the whole package. He's got enough size. He's not huge, but his arm is Brady-esque. It's at least as strong as Brady's. He can run, as we saw in the first preseason game. He can move. But the main things he has are poise and command and leadership intangibles that he got from his father. I think the greatest athlete who ever played any sport, Deion Sanders. He got some of Deion's personality, his charisma, his captivation. And what he got that Deion didn't have was an arm. He doesn't have Deion's speed, but he got an arm that his father never had in baseball. His father was really a good baseball player, but not much of a put-out guy from center field. He could just run balls down. Shedeur is deadly accurate, led the nation in percentage, in completion percentage. Shedeur is as tough mentally and physically as any college quarterback I have ever seen. I got it. He's got the exotic cars, and he's got the attitude. He's got the swag. He's got I got it. He got that from his dad, but he backed it up game after game, throw after throw. You want to talk about clutch toughness? It's Shedeur, and he gets stuck in Cleveland because he said some things in the pre-draft process. He said some things to teams at the combine that were straight, chip off block sort of things that he shouldn't have said. Came across as incredibly arrogant. And the word of mouth, it's not like there's a memo sent out, but the word of mouth all around this league was, let's teach him, and especially
family, hear this. They say all of our kids are arrogant, and he's cocky, and he's too much. He's a big mouth or whatever. They say that about all of our athletes, man. So don't give me that. Any athlete that comes in the league that's sure of themselves, that has confidence, that's worked on it, or even got a talent, man, they say that about, man. But we're gonna play a little bit more. But he's right, and that's what it is. It's a threat. They don't have that sellout story, that whole, we took you out of the hood and gave you a whole, great white hope story. They don't like that, family.
His daddy a lesson. Let's just put them in their place. It was just sickening and shameful to watch. Let's teach them who we are and who they're not. And all those coaches who didn't want to take him were scared to death that if you did take him, that pretty soon the owner is going to be thinking, well, I could get Deion Sanders to coach. I'm going there because it's going to create box office and maybe he's a better coach than you are.
Nah, it's a threat. Deion's a brand. They don't want to build and continue building his legacy, and it's because he's a brother in the United States, and he didn't need none of that. And he was a flat-out star, bottom line.
Coach, he is scared to death of him, even though the irony of this is that, trust me on this, Shedeur and Deion are going their separate ways. It was time. It's time to cut the cord. Shedeur had never been coached by anybody all the way up from Little League football up except Deion. And they both knew it's just time to move forward and show the world that he's his own man as a young man, as Deion has always proven he's his own man. Not that there isn't love there, but it was just time to go forward, prove who you are and prove separately who you are. It was perfectly on time. So it had nothing to do with Deion being the coach of Shedeur, because I'm pretty sure he doesn't.
So we're going to get past that, man. We're going to get into one second, fam. We're going to get into this other reaction to the Shedeur brothers as well, because, well, we need to talk about that. Give me 1 second, fam. Now, what y'all think, man? I mean, we don't need to be continuing to support them, man, if they're going to continue to do our kids like this. Give me 1 second, family. I'm having a reset here. Because the amount of revenue that we generate for the NFL and the greatness that we bring is unmatched to any other sport possible. So it's a deep disrespect. Let's get into this. Give me 1 second, fam. Okay. So shout out to Hype News, man. We get into give me 1 sec. I gotta share this up. Hype News. Shout out to Hype News, man. They did a good job with this. And we broke down the incident that happened and some of the, celebrities that didn't take too well. Let's go.
Club in Atlanta for Hype Plus News. I'm Symphony.
I don't know what type of hate the NFL has towards the Sanders family, but y'all can't even hide this shit no more.
Many people online are questioning the way Deion Sanders' sons, Shiloh Sanders and Shedeur Sanders, are being treated by the NFL since joining the organization. Now, just last week, both former players of the University of Colorado have found themselves in trouble and are now struggling to survive their first year in the NFL. And for several Black users online, these troubles are connected to an apparent setup meant to see the Sanders family fail. Now, these troubles would first start off this week with Shedeur's latest preseason game for the Cleveland Browns. In the recent game against the Rams, head coach Kevin Stefanski would pull Sanders from the game with just 2 minutes left to play, and during a crucial moment that could have gave Sanders the opportunity to showcase how he could perform under pressure, as the team only trailed by 1. Instead, he would get replaced by Tyler Huntley to finish out the game, in which the Browns would go on to win. But interestingly enough, Huntley would end up getting cut soon after. Now, this decision appears to have upset Browns fans and supporters of Sanders, as it appears that Sanders is not being given the opportunity to shine as a star quarterback. One user would write, "You pull Shedeur off of the field during 2-minute drills to put in a guy you knew you were cutting the next day. And you want us to believe you care about QB development." Now, it appears that Shedeur being pulled from this recent game hasn't been the only concern after the Browns announced their list of players who've been cut from their roster. A user online called Fantasy Football Forge would call out the Browns for not giving Sanders quality players to play with after they would notice something about the list of cut players.
Real quick, that too is because, family, they want you to be in a subservient position that's so grateful that you are praising them to the point where they have control over you and they dictate your success and your legacy. And they want that picture, that indoctrination of the black man is relying upon his athletic ability that's being saved by, some white recruiter that came to the hood out of nowhere. They can't get it. They can't get that out of this scenario. And they already came into it with the preconceived notion that let's sabotage him. Let's poke him. Let's pull his buttons. Let's push his buttons and see how far we can take this thing to get them out of the NFL. Because they already got enough money. The Sanders is good. And they seeing the Sanders on that back of that jersey like that 30 years later with Sanders Deion's DNA taking over the NFL, that's a threat. We already should have known that. See, Shador's not that super nice guy that try to make everybody laugh and that tries to kiss up and be a people pleaser. And he's also not an a-hole. He's right there in the middle. And they have a problem with that. He's not too cocky, he's not too arrogant, and he's not too docile and weak. So he's right there in the middle, and that's hard to figure out. And that's hard to gauge and measure when it comes to you being judged on the biggest stage when it comes to white supremacy. But we already know they ain't supreme enough. Let's go.
Players. They were right. Almost all of Shedeur Sanders' supporting cast from his last outing are on this list. They set him up for failure. Additionally, they pulled him during a crucial end-of-game moment to play a veteran QB who they knew wasn't making the cut. Why wouldn't you give your rookie a chance at the 2-minute drill in a high-pressure situation during a preseason game? It's the perfect opportunity to test their ability in that moment. Why would they hinder their rookie's development like that? That decision literally makes no sense. The noise online would cause Browns coach Stefanski to even respond to claims that he was sabotaging Shedeur.
I'm committed to his development, just like all of our rookies. So we'll continue to focus on getting our guys better. And that's what we'll stay committed to, and that's what's important to me.
As of now, Shedeur remains a part of the Cleveland Browns lineup as he fights to remain one of their quarterback options. Unfortunately, however, Shiloh Sanders would experience a different fate, as it was announced on Sunday that the Buccaneers safety has gotten officially waived from the team. According to reports, this decision to waive Sanders was in connection to an on-field incident in which Sanders would end up striking opposing player Zach Davison, after Davison could be seen charging at Sanders during the play. Unfortunately, the Bucs would still take issue with how Sanders responded, despite many feeling that Davison's actions provoked the whole thing. Head coach Ted Bowles would respond to the incident and Sanders being ejected from the game by saying, "You can't throw punches in the league. I mean, that's inexcusable. They're going to get you every time."
Punch where? Hold on. Wait, where? What punch? What punch? The man slapped the side of his helmet, y'all. Get the facts straight. Yo, man, they just putting dirt and disrespect on the Shiloh Sanders name, man, deliberately. Y'all, we clearly seen the whole thing. It was a slap, open hand. Nobody got hurt. Nobody got assaulted. And in fact, they both struck each other at the same time. So that's why we're in the social media space. So we're clearing the narrative. We got our own narrative. We're not going to let them direct the narrative because that's how you control the people, man. And look at this sellout dude, man. Just take a look at this clown, bro. You just a sellout.
Gotta grow from that. This decision to waive Shiloh has increased talks about the Sanders family being set up. Several TikTokers online will react to the news.
Last week it was Shedeur, this week it's Shiloh. I don't know what type of hate the NFL has towards the Sanders family, but like, y'all can't even hide this shit no more. Like, y'all are literally putting this shit in our faces. You know what I'm saying? You mean to tell me y'all let this tight end get away with pushing bro, grabbing his face mask after the play was over? The play was already over. Everybody stopped. The referee sees the tight end pushing Shiloh. Y'all get mad at Shiloh because he defends himself and try to get bro off him so he punched his helmet? Are y'all serious? Then so y'all waive him and now he's not on the roster?
$1 million. Family, watch how they play with words. Words are very important. They keep saying punch, and when you program people to say punch, that opens up a whole different case. The man did not punch him with a closed fist, so stop saying that, y'all.
Career all thrown away because you don't know how to control yourself. Shiloh Sanders has officially been waived by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, all for that altercation that happened last night. You are at work. You're at work. I don't know what part of that people don't realize. Even though you're in the NFL, you're at work. Just like you can't clock in to work. And
Coon number 2. Take a good look at this clown. Where's the energy for the 6'5" tight end, a super aggressor, strong powerhouse that was pushing him, shoving him, pulling him, and trying to get his wits about him too? They both were trying to get their wits about themselves. No, look at this. Just take a good look at the people who look like you that are sabotage you. It's all on Shiloh. What about the Dion Richardson? What's his name? Brian Richardson. Clowns, man. The man's a rookie, right? Isn't this preseason? So shouldn't that give you even more reason? Cut him some slack. See, they can't take the wealth and the money away because they know if they kick him out the NFL, they're still going to be good. See, that bothers their ego.
Swing on your coworker. They can't go on that NFL field and swing on another player whenever they feel like they can.
Now, over on the Shade Room, users would air out their frustration and echo that there's a conspiracy against the Sanders family after seeing Shiloh's incident. One would write, "Sanders' son aren't welcome in the NFL. It's wow." Veteran comedian Finesse Mitchell would say, "The setup." Last, another user would write, "All that was planned by the NFL. The whole signing of Shiloh late as F. To this. Sign him, make him look bad, show media NFL was right about Dion and his kids. They plan to bait Shiloh in just to flag him, just to waive him." According to the latest reports, Sanders still has the opportunity to join the team's practice squad. But let's talk about it more in the comments. Do you think the NFL and some of their teams are looking to set up the Sanders family for looking bad? Or are both Shiloh and Shadur just not fully ready for the standout in the NFL? Let us know in the comments below. And stay up to date with the latest news in comedy, culture, sports, and music.
Slap right there. Where is the punch? I want y'all to be watching what these so-called, reporters say and how they say it, man. But thank y'all for tuning in, man. I really appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. We obviously share the same values and core values if y'all rocking with me, man. I love you guys. But I just wanted to touch in, man, and give you guys a quick update on that. And we are holding these teams accountable, right, for sabotaging our brothers and sisters in the NFL because, like she said, they've been trying to set this up premeditatedly and said, hey, look, let's make them look bad. Let's dangle the carrot in front of them and humiliate them. And let's troll them a little bit. And they stalled and went and drafted them and, just teetered on. And, oh, he's arrogant. He's this. He's flashy. Man, stop it. So we seen it coming. So we're not surprised, the real ones. So we're going to keep our foot on their neck and don't support the. Look, we know who not to support. Let's put it that way. We know who not to support and give our money to and give ratings to and views to. Because that keeps them in power. Keeps them well. And they feel like they can just do anything with our athletes. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Are y'all feeling this? Do y'all think the NFL going too far with this, man? And they just, trying to troll us. And that's just a proxy as a black people. When you can use a black man or woman as an example, they use that as a proxy to show, hey, look, I'm white daddy and I can spank you and I can pull this plug whenever they want. And they'll put some of the coon class in front of us to be the spokesman. So take a look at this clown on the right. We know what to do, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in with me, man. I love you guys. I'll be back with some more later on sauce, man, and keep you guys updated what's going on, man, in the culture. Love you guys. Y'all take it easy. Talk to you soon. Peace.